So let us welcome our experience, whichever way it appears. Welcoming is sort of not knowing, in which the mind is free from the past. A mind that has no objects that it can use or latch onto or anchor itself somehow. Where everything is met freshly, without any idea of what I am, what it is. Sort of like a deep sleep, while the body mind is not sleeping. And this not knowing is that which is continuous in your experience. Which has no form, no shape. That in which and out of which thoughts, perceptions, sensations, images arise. In the what we call the dream state, this spaciousness of being, of not knowing, takes on the form of fleeting images, fleeting sensations, fleeting events, like wavelets that sort of dancing closely to each other, merging into each other. Like a canvas, the very light pastel or very light watercolors that sort of bleed into each other. What we call the dream state is actually not a state, because there is nothing fixed about it. The colors bleed into each other. The light yellow, light pink. Images, sensations. Faint, so faint that you can sort of see through them. Could be a mountain, and you just see through it and perceive other fleeting images, other fleeting sensations. It's like the movement of very thin veils, very thin curtains made out of very thin fabric. And the wind blows, and the fabric moves in the wind. We call that dream state, but there is no state. It's just a dance of consciousness, a tiptoe dance of consciousness, sort of playing peekaboo, appearing as this and then that and that. All along, there is a continuity of being, which doesn't appear on the screen, which is the screen itself, unchanged and unchanging. As the dance goes on. Hip hop, so consciousness appears in its light, the light side, its light side, its light dance. And what we refer to as the waking state, consciousness removes its ballet shoes and puts on its hiking boots. Boom, boom, heavier steps. The imprint are deeper. The images are brighter. Their echo is longer. And yet, the imprint dissolves. The thoughts that seemed so real an hour ago, so vivid, are gone, absolutely gone. The feeling that you cherished earlier today is completely gone. We refer to the hiking boot dance of consciousness as the waking state. But there is no state. There is a brighter color, a more vivid sound, a longer echo, which dissolves into complete stillness. All along that, which creates the dance, composes it and puts it together, experiences it, remains the same. Whether it's a very light step ballet or whether it is a dance which is much louder. And what we refer to as the deep sleep state is a very, 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 very faint whisper of consciousness, so faint that you do not perceive any imprint. A state refers to a mind experience that has a beginning and an ending. There is no constant state, because these very words you heard right now, they're gone, dissolved. There is no one that is in a state or experiencing the state. There may be a thought that arises that says, I am in the waking state or I am in the dream state. Which is false. It's false because every appearance appears to you. You are not in any appearance. You are not in any sensation. You're not in a thought. You are not in the perception. You are the screen. You are that to which everything refers. when you look to find anything of value in a thought, in a feeling, or in an event, or in a situation, or in an object, you won't find it because as you go to it, it's gone. As you reach it, it dissolves in your hands. That which does not dissolve is that into which everything dissolves. Out of me and in me arises every thought, every perception. And they dissolve where they arose from. Like the light that shines from the source. When you turn off the light, where does it go? What remains when that light is off? Does everything disappear? When the mind is silent and still, does everything disappear? Between two thoughts, do you disappear? Between an event and another event, what's there? when you are walking in nature. The wind against your face, the sun shining, the silence and the stillness of the mind. The magnificence of being. Nowhere to go, nothing to protect or defend, nothing to figure out. Is that not our true nature? In the midst of the activities of the body and the mind and the world, doesn't our true nature shine as the peace that has no cause, causeless happiness? Where nothing is being protected, needs protection. Like a leaf that dances in the wind, or a bird that's flapping its wings and somehow being carried by the wind and the flapping. Isn't it the same with this body mind? We flap our wings and somehow the wind is there. In unison, we find ourselves flying. And the mind goes, yes, I know you're there, doing whatever you wish. I am the leaf in the wind. I am the fruit on the tree. I am the glitter of the sun onto the surface of the pond. I am the love, the beauty, the formless presence that appears as everything and everyone. I recognize that everything that I gain, I lose. But I never lose that which I truly am, which is this transparent, aware presence that glows in the dark, glitters, the best of wines. For that, I don't need to go anywhere, looking and searching. The happiness that I am, the happiness that is there. It cannot be held on to. Because it is that which I am. And everything is subordinate to I am. Because existence is my creation. I am not created. It's in the depth of the mind that you find the diamond, the gold. At the heart of your experience, core of your experience, is the shining light of consciousness. And it is that shining light that you perceive as the world, as the body, as the mind. When you look at the surface of the pond or the lake, it is the sunshine that you see as a lake. as a ripple, as a wave. It is the sunshine, the light of being that appears to you, appears to itself. Intimately, like the intimacy of a night dream image is the intimacy of this image right now, this perception right now, the intimacy of being. That is fulfilled by itself, to itself, within itself, as I am, as I, this transparent presence. And if there are any questions, please make sure you unmute yourself and you can turn on your video. You can, if you like, and we can chat. So, any questions?
Hi, Magdi.
Hello, Marga.
How are you?
Good.
That was really beautiful. And it overlaps with an experience I had yesterday. I think I'm just going to share just a quick second, but I had a lucid dream last night. So when you were talking about the hiking and the ballet, it felt like a hiking boot came through to the dream. And then today it felt like there's ballet slippers in my waking life.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So it's just really nice to have kind of a bleed through. And then as you're talking, it feels even more surreal. Like there's a place where the definitions of waking and sleeping aren't as clear. So I just wanted to share that little thing. So thank you.
When I was using the metaphor of the ballet dance and the hiking boots, it's referring to how in the dream state it's more like a gentle wind is sort of blowing, and all appearances are sort of dancing together in a way. While in what we refer to the waking state, where consciousness sort of is appearing to itself with more, the shutter speed is lower speed. Is it a lower? I think it's a lower speed. Shutter speed is lower, so the images are moving slower. They have more staying power, more staying power. Now, which has nothing to do with ignorance. Now, ignorance, meaning the thoughts and feelings that appear both while the body is quote unquote sleeping or when the body is not sleeping. There is a set of thoughts and feeling impressions that refer to something is at stake for somebody. There is somebody, a particular field, a separate field of energy that is having an experience. And that field of energy is what I am. Because we all do experience a very particular mind that is sort of private. We don't know each other's thoughts or each other's sensations or feelings. Some things we share, of course, we share the fact that we live on planet Earth. So although there is a particular mind, that one could say an individual mind, a private mind, the I that experiences this mind, that experiences this particular thought, this particular sensation. That I is not personal. That I is universal. Consciousness perceives all thoughts and all perceptions and all sensations across time and across space. It creates them, perceives them, and dissolves them. Conceives them, creates them, experiences them, perceives them, and dissolves them. From the mind's perspective, when it's in ignorance, it believes that, no, this consciousness isn't perceiving across different minds. There's particular consciousness here. That's my consciousness. There's a particular consciousness there. That's your consciousness. We can chit chat and so on. But my soul, my consciousness, my being is my being, and your being is your being. So when there is ignorance, meaning when there is that belief and that feeling, we immediately experience an unhappiness, a veil over our true nature, a veil over the peace of being, the joy, the natural state of ease. The natural state of ease is overlaid with, how am I doing? Am I doing okay? Is everything okay? Am I fine? Will I be fine tomorrow? Now, ignorance would be like the ballet shoes are muddy and the hiking boots are muddy. So,
And the dance is not okay.
it's a little bit muddy, or maybe it's not mud that is on those boots. Let's leave it at that. What matters is to comprehend that irrespective of what is appearing to you, that to which the appearance is appearing is what you are, and does not appear, is not something that appears. Irrespective of whether it's a ballet dance or it's a hike up the mountain, that to which the ballet dance or the hike up the mountain, that to which that experience appears, is not something that appears, is not okay, John, okay, is not an appearance. Consciousness is not personal and limited. The particular mind experience, one could say, is limited. One could even say it's personal, in that if I don't share with you my current thought, you don't know it. In other words, it is not available to your mind, but it is available to consciousness. But consciousness is not your consciousness or my consciousness. Consciousness is consciousness. Consciousness belongs to consciousness. It's not my consciousness, Magdi's consciousness, or Marga's consciousness. The light belongs to the sun, but the light is not separate from the sun. The light is the sun. It belongs to the sun. It's, yes, it goes without saying. Similarly, the mind belongs to consciousness. It is consciousness that's shining as this particular mind. Because it is consciousness that perceives, meaning I perceive. The I that perceives is awareness. It's not a personal awareness. There's nothing personal about awareness. You follow that? Yes? Yeah. So when in your night dream the ballet shoes are muddy, this is a moment where the personal self, the me, sort of bubbling up. I'm saying it's bubbling up because it is there. The me, the sense of separation, the personal identity is there. It's there for most of us. It's there at the lower level. And then throughout the day, in different situations, it bubbles up. It bubbles up as a feeling, and sometimes as an emotion. Feeling of fear or worry or concern, feeling guilty, whatever. Feeling unloved, lonely, etc. So the way we deal with that is to look at the core cause for these feelings and emotions, the core cause of the sense of self, of personal self, and the cause of the me feeling and the sense of me is that I believe, there is a belief that I am a person living in the world, living in time and space. But I'm not a person living in time and space. The world appears to me, in me. Thoughts appear to me, in me, within me. I don't exist in the world appears to me. Whichever way it appears, it can appear as an image, as a thought, as a perception, as the oak tree in the yard. As the supermarket. That's my experience. So we go to our experience because in our experience, there is a sort of a more of a purity or a sincerity. In our experience, you can find the unadulterated, not in our thinking or our feeling or our remembering. Our experience is not thinking. Our experience is that of being, is presence, is awareness. It takes on the form of thoughts. Like sometimes you're looking at the window and then the window takes on the form of a bird flying by, you know. Somehow the space of that we refer to as a window, this all of that appears to me So I am not what I imagine myself to be. I am not the history. I am not the me history. I am not the son of my parents. The body may be whatever that is. There is a concept, a construct in the realm of mind about parents and children, which is fine. It's perfect. It's a very good illusion. It's an illusion because it seems to be. It seems to be. So what seems to be is like a story, the night's bedtime story. Once upon a time, there was this and that. So then we journey. We have a mind event of a certain happening, and we experience that, and it seems to be real of its own. It is real as an impression, but it's not real in that it is what it says it is. Because that which is real doesn't tell you what it is. It hides in plain view. It tells you, here I am, but you will not find me anywhere. As appearances, all appearances are equal, in that they're all impressions, they're all illusion. They seem to be, whether it's a night dream or whether it's this perception, it seems to be.
So I was thinking when you said the window becomes the bird and the dream is the window. And sometimes I feel like I'm the space in which I move versus me moving through space. It's just like a little switch of there's not a difference between what's appearing and what I am. Is that a misunderstanding?
We could say that there isn't a difference between that which appears and the I am, in that which appears is not out there. Your perception, this moment, if you look at where your perception is, where is your perception right now? When you look for your perception, where do you go? You don't go to Google, search. You don't look in your folders and files. You don't look out there somewhere to find where your perception is. You will realize, oh my goodness, my perception is just where I'm perceiving from. It is that from where I'm perceiving is that where my perception is. You follow? Yes. So from that perspective, you could say that that which I perceive is also that which I am. But there is an important but, in that that which you are is irrespective of the perception. Meaning, you know you are, I know I am. This knowingness that I am and that I know I am is inherent, one could say it's built in. Built in. I've done some building, so it's built in within, it's inherent to the I, to awareness. So awareness is self-knowing, it doesn't need a perception or a thought to know it is, and to know that it's real, and to know that it knows. So awareness is aware in the presence of perceptions, thoughts, meditations, in the presence of objects, in the presence of forms, in the presence of existence, as well as in its complete absence. So it's important to realize your amness, your beingness, irrespective of form, irrespective of perception and sensation. And yes, perception, sensation, existence exists as I, meaning it is I that's taking on the form of this perception. I meaning presence, awareness, beingness, universal beingness. Without ever losing my transparency, without becoming blue, purple, green, tall, short, heavy, fat, green, skinny. I remain the transparent aware presence, irrespective of the dance that I dance. So there is awareness is essential for existence, but existence is not essential for awareness. In ignorance, we hold on to existence. Which is exhausting because you can't catch that butterfly. When you think you caught it, you find there's nothing in your hands. Because you are the butterfly. So notice that existence, manifestations appears to you, you are the transparent, aware presence, the transparency of being. And you remain as you are when there is a perception, a sensation, an event. You are unmoved and untouched. But you like to play, so you play. You know. But you play with the true meaning of play. There is nothing at stake. It's not like Las Vegas casinos, you know. You hope you won't get burned too much.
Thank you.
Any questions? Hello, Holger.
Hello. Yesterday you spoke about being precise with language.
Yes.
It's maybe unimportant, but the word ego has a negative connotation for me.
Mm.
Is this just my own conditioning, or is this word being used, or do different people use the same word in different ways?
Yes. Well, I think it depends what you mean by ego when you say ego. I have a certain take on ego, is the use of that word, in that there is a developmental process at the body-mind level from babyhood, where the baby is sort of merged into the sensations and the perceptions and the smell of the mother and the taste of the milk, and is sort of merged in this realm of sensations that are like sort of all diffused. And the developmental process is that at some point, while mother's love was there all the time, then over time, mother's love becomes more. There is some interruptions in it, just because of the baby is growing. There are different relationships. Now, mom is teaching the child how to eat solid foods, etc. So there is a change now. It's no longer this warm blanket of sensations. There is a little hiccups in that. And as this developmental process goes on, then the child realizes that there is mother and all the safety, and there is me, which is sometimes I have it and sometimes I don't. Sometimes it's there and sometimes it's not there. So there is a sense of separation that starts, and as that sense of separation starts, this very tiny seed of the sense of me starts to sort of sprout, and in time it grows, and the sense of me starts to develop. I start to take steps. I learning how to, what I like, what I don't like, and learning how to manage, the world, my experience. And I develop the skills that, and it's an ongoing process, of course, but there is more and more tools and more skills available to me to sort of manage to be okay with those tools as this person, sometimes strong, sometimes I cajole, sometimes I give in, whatever. It varies from person to person. So there is what I refer to as the ego is this process, this progression of the sense of me with all its skills that relate to the body, mind, world sort of realm. And so I develop all those skills until I come to a place where I'm sort of okay. And now, I'm going to go from that sense of okayness, more or less, I'm going to go for the happiness. I'm going to recover mom's love. I'm going to find back, I'm going to reconnect with my mother's love, with the peace and happiness. But of course, she's not there. So the mind will project certain substitutes as well. Your mom will be proud of you if you become successful, whatever. Anyways, there are so many scenarios, it's infinite mind makeups, so the ego is not ignorance. It's part of the equipment. I don't know if you heard it said, but sometimes it is said that ignorance is an illusion. That in fact, ignorance is what seems to be. It's not what is. It's this sense of being away from the love, of being separate from the love. Because at the body-mind level, it is objective. It is a realm of object. So my mom is an object. Her love is an objective love. So in that realm is what seems to be the realm that the reality of this realm. In other words, what the realm actually is consciousness. It seems to be that I am somebody's son and I'm missing my mom's love. I need to now find happiness in the world, maybe a partner, maybe a great position in the society, or a lot of friendships and security, whatever. It's what it seems to be. So ignorance, meaning the sense of separation, doesn't have um, a truth to it. It's how the mind operates. At some point in this movement, we realize, oh, I'm not finding it. I'm not finding it. I've tried different partners. I've tried all sorts of businesses and success. I tried drugs. I tried sex. I tried, all sorts of practices, and it's not. So at some point, it's like in various ways we start to contemplate what's going on. What is this? Is this real? What is real? What is real? Because also in the night, in the ballet dance of the, it's the same thing's going on. It's also, there is a search, and it's still not, it's not delivering. So this is just a scenario I just presented to you. I mean, it's a model, because there isn't one absolute correct way of speaking about it, because there are infinite possibilities. It's infinite possibilities. The infinite potential of the infinite of consciousness. So it's okay to take a model, to consider a model, but to sort of be light-handed about it, There isn't good or bad. See, there isn't like a bad ego or a good ego. Sometimes there are this development of the sort of sense of me that can exist in the world. Sometimes it's thwarted. There may be some trauma, and then I go into a particular feeling state that can spend years in that feeling state. And the developmental process of the sense of me is delayed. It's delayed. And so now as life is unfolding, and I'm sort of meeting life with this sense of self that doesn't have this certain stability, then I'm working on both fronts. I'm working on still finding that sense of self that I'm more or less okay with. And at the same time, I'm dealing with the world. I mean, we are all doing that. We're all doing that. But sometimes there is much more activity going on psychologically, meaning with my sense of self. And I don't mean about the exploration of our true nature. I'm talking about the sense of me is not whole anyway. I'm victimized, for example, or there's some trauma, and I'm just sort of, it's still spinning. It's really, it's just a vortex of thoughts and feelings. It's all it is. It's really nothing at stake, really nothing at stake. But still, within that vortex is an emotional field, an emotional spin that keeps arising. It settles and then it rises again, settles and rises again. So it's calling for attention. And sometimes there are therapies, and there are various ways we work with that. But it sort of interferes, it delays, let's say, our capacity to contemplate our true nature. And at the same time, I'm hesitating to say that because it also has its place, It wouldn't occur if it didn't have its place. So I'm not sure that, in fact, I'm correct in saying that it delays anything, because things unfold as they're meant to unfold and as they should unfold. And if you look at fruits on the tree, not all the fruit just become ripe and well, this may be a bad metaphor, sometimes they do. Just, I'm going to stretch the metaphor. Sometimes not all the fruits on the trees are ripening at the same time, depending on how the tree is turned towards the sun, whatever. And sometimes there are some fruits that have not how now they will make the perfect fruit. All the fruits, I don't know how they do it. All the fruits look the same. It's amazing that like the fruits they differ. All the apples are not the same, or from the same tree, or from the same branch. So, but coming back to the ego, the way I look at the ego is that sense of me and the developmental process of the mind. It goes from this amorphous, safe field of experience to the sense of separate me that understands the world, that has its own models, its own structures that are, of course, connected to others, to the common agreement. And so there is a certain interconnection, between minds. And at some point, then I'm seeking in the world, body, mind, happiness. I don't find it, then I turn inward and I contemplate the source. We all know that because we all lived through that. I feel like I'm talking like what we all know because we all lived that. And in my case, there was a lot of at a young age, a lot of personal trauma that I was, dealing with, and it was sort of like a sort of vortex, like you're in a certain wind and you can't get out of it. Sort of that's what's happening. Indeed, things can last for years, and from a certain perspective, one could say they're really very difficult. But when you are in the midst, somehow you do whatever you do, you do what you can do. Anyways, everything that you do is given to you. Anyway, it's not like you're inventing the wheel. It's given to you. It's loaned to you by God, and it's whispered in your ear. So we all We are all whispers. We are whispers. We are God's whispers. And at the same time, you know, at some point we realize that we are the whisperer. And that whisperer whispers everything. Without whispering.
It's so beautiful to listen to you. It's very nourishing, inspiring, and very comforting to hear your words and to feel your energy. And just thank you for all of this.
Most of the time, I don't know what I'm saying.
Yeah, just thank you to life.
Yes, okay.
Thank you.
You know, it's a sharing, which is beautiful sharing. So, any questions?
Hi, Magdi.
Hello, Amna.
So at one point when you were talking to Marga, you said can't catch the butterfly because you are the butterfly. Could you talk more about that, please?
Some things are perfect as they are, and anything that can be added I'm going to leave it as it was said, because there is a limitation to understanding at the mind level. Sometimes there are things that are said that we don't understand, but it's okay. So it's a little bit like poetry. If you look at the words, you can't figure it out, but it is something about it.
I experienced an understanding when you said that, and
repeat that.
Yeah, I experienced an understanding when you said that, and I wanted to hold on to it. I wanted it. I wanted to hold on to that butterfly of understanding.
Or the butterfly.
With experiences and people and understanding, like that comes up, like wanting to hold on to it.
You see, so there is like the begging bowl or the basket, right? But what is the hand that is holding, that's holding the basket or the begging bowl? What is this hand? It has to be something from the past. I'm saying that because in presence, there is no time, there is no hand, there is no begging bowl, there is nothing to hold on to in presence, as presence. So holding on to is about the past and the future, I guess. But we never go to the past or go to the future. There's nothing in the past, in the future. It's absolutely gone. The past is absolutely non-existent, and the future equally. But absolutely. So there is a current thought that says, I got this, or I ... in the past. It refers to the past. There is a current thought that refers to the past, but the current thought that is referring to the past is a current thought. It's there is no past in a current thought, and there is no future in a current thought. The past is this impression of me. Well, okay. First, the past is a process of thinking. So there is a thought of breakfast this morning, and so immediately there is the past, because now is not breakfast. Now it's dinner time. So as if a thought arises in the present, in presence, right now, of breakfast, boom, time arises. Time arises as what? As that thought. As that thought. And maybe a sensation. Current, present. So the holding on to something has to do with past and future. I'm hoping that my past will improve, or that my future is going to become better than my past. So let me see what I can accumulate, what I can hold on to. See, but it has nothing to do with understanding, because in understanding, there's no time. Like right now, you understand what I'm saying. You understand these words, but there is no time. You're not. There isn't like a time span to understanding, because in understanding there is no mind. Mind is the you could say the echo before and the echo after. It's as if the before and after understanding there is mind. And mind meaning there are sounds and perceptions. Sounds and perceptions. But in fact, sounds and perceptions, they refer to hearing and sensing. And in hearing and sensing, there is no time. So even within thought and sensation, even within thought and sensation, which seem to be like mind events, because they refer to sensing or perceiving, which is not in time. So in fact, even mind does not refer to time. You won't find time in a thought, or you won't find time in a sensation. Because this thought, you won't find the thought, you only find the thought as hearing or as perceiving. And you only find the sensation as sensing. You won't find actually a sensation outside of sensing. Sensing meaning awareing, meaning awareness. Taken on the form of sensing, taken on the form of a thought. So in that realm of experience, which always comes down to no time, presence, awareness, consciousness, there isn't a storage, there isn't a storage place. So the illusion is that there is something that I can hold on to that would help me now and forever. That's the illusion. That's what it seems to be. And this illusion is rooted in the belief that there is a personal mind and a personal self and a personal consciousness. That well, in fact, there is a learning that occurs at the mind level. Meaning, I learned that how to cook something, and also I learned how to deal with certain emotions, certain feelings that arise. But this learning is not a result of remembering anything. This learning is a result of understanding and experience. Like when you make lentil and you put in 5 teaspoons or 5 tablespoons of soup, of salt, you realize, oh my God, I think there was way too much salt, you see. So you get it, that we need to put 2 tablespoons of salt. So understanding, it operates, it doesn't need your help. It operates through you. I would say even in spite of you, because sometimes we want to run it, we want to double check the understanding with some of our prejudices, our beliefs, So we don't need to store anything because it's going to become stale. When you understand something, you understand it. That's it. I mean, understanding has occurred.
You can't forget something that you understood?
Then you haven't understood it. If you understand that, I don't know, red light means you stop, or yellow light means you look and you go. No, if you have understood something, you've understood it. It's there. You may not be interested in, but maybe you understood that drinking 3 glasses of wine makes you, whatever, it affects you in a certain way. And you understood that, but you may not care. And so what? I mean, you say, I don't care. I'm having fun. Boom, the hell with it. You can maybe even understand that the red light means stopping. You arrive and you look around and there's nobody. You're in the middle of the Sonoma Desert, is it? I don't know, some desert. I don't know why they put a red light there. You go through the red light. Guilty as accused. You may still feel that drawn to a certain activity. And you may choose to overlook your understanding. For example, seeking love. I am certain we've all understood that seeking love is mad, because nobody can give you love. People can celebrate love with you, but nobody can give you love. But you may still, although you may have understood that, you may still feel drawn to play that game of becoming somebody or being somebody that is loved. And sometimes we understood something, but our emotions, our conditioning trumps our understanding. I remember, I had understood that operating out of fear is making decisions when there is fear is not the right thing to do. But I remember this one time signing a contract with this guy, and feeling that, well, succumbing to the fear, so giving into the fear, although I knew that's not, and I live to regret it, of course. God says, okay, fine, you want to play this game? Okay, go ahead. The road looked so good when I signed the contract. A month later, bumpy. yeah, so, you know, it's okay. Sometimes we need to rerun, you know, we need to. I remember years ago, I mean, I knew that getting on the roller coaster was like the worst thing I could do because it just wasn't my bag, you know. And I went with my kids years ago, God, to this place, you know, where all they had was, there was a place, all they had was these crazy, mad things. And I'm saying, no, 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 no. Finally, after so much insistence, okay, fine. I said yes to this one and this thing. It was one of the things you sit in and you're, you know, your feet are like sort of in the air, and then so then it goes and you're flipping this way and you're flipping and turning and going up. It was a nightmare. It was awful, but that was the last time, you know, the last time I did that. I said, okay, it's fine. So sometimes we make a compromise, you know. We say, okay, let's give it a shot. You know? No, understanding, you don't need to remember. You cannot remember understanding because, in fact, in understanding, there is no mind, you see. So understanding, because there is no mind, the mind makes a version, it makes its own caricature of the understanding. And then it holds on to the caricature. Whenever they ask you for your ID, you show them the caricature, they say, oh my God, is that what you look like? It's a caricature. What you are remembering is not the real thing.
So understanding is like just like a fragrance.
Right? Yes, yes, very good. That's, yes, a fragrance, yes, yes. Yes. Yeah. And understanding, it affects the mind. It affects the mind, the body, the world. What would the world be without understanding? Can you imagine?
So in these songs, it's not so much trying to rely on the mind. It's not that.
What is the mind? Trying to rely on the mind, like there is no mind. When you say mind, what are you talking about? When we say mind, we're talking about perception, sensation, which are all fleeting.
Like there's a sense of like figuring out and holding on to both.
Well, there is an interest. There is an interest. So right now we're having a conversation. We're interested in the conversation. I listen. You listen. And in listening, sometimes there is comprehension. It's okay, I understand what you're saying. This comprehension, but we don't know what that comprehension is. It's comprehension. It's understanding. So, holding on to the mind is like holding on to a thought, or holding on to a memory, or holding on to an image, or holding on to. You can't hold on to something that's gone, because when it's gone, it's absolutely gone. So when you feel that you're holding on to something, that's an illusion. It seems that you're holding on to something. It's an illusion because what you're holding on is absolutely gone. The words I uttered a minute ago are completely gone, absolutely gone. What you heard a minute ago or a second ago is absolutely gone. You follow? It's absolutely gone. But awareness isn't gone because it doesn't appear or disappear. It's not like, oh, suddenly there is awareness. Oops, awareness is gone. No. Right?
Like, I'm just noticing there's just a relaxing, like, I don't have to, just like it's silly to try to hold on to anything. So then I can just chill out.
Absolutely. Because what you are is this, you are the chill out. You are chill outness. You are the chill. Yeah. When you relax, it's a chill. Because there isn't, you're not trying to hold on to anything. You're relaxed, already it's a chill. Because the chill is there. You see the chill, it's covered by, as soon as you, then the chill is there. Because it's always there, right? It's not like, oh, I'm going to chill out now, because that's like, oh my God, what am I going to do to chill out? But when you sort of understand, oh, there's nothing to hold on to, nothing, I don't need to do anything, all is well. Already you are in the chill.
I used to avoid the chill, like scared of the chill. I used to avoid the chill or be afraid of it. Yeah.
Okay, well, you want to say some more about that, or?
Yeah, like the chill, like when there isn't tension or there isn't like, it felt like a sense of losing control or not knowing.
Oh, yes. So you need to keep your hands on the steering wheel in a way, you know?
Yeah.
Right, and the foot on the pedal, and make sure you're maneuvering, you know, especially a clutch, you have the clutch, you know, if it's a stick shift, then you've got also the clutch. Right, well, but sometimes we park the car, right? Sometimes we park the car and we just sit on the bench, listen to the birds singing and watch kids playing in the water. Yeah, sometimes we're driving, but only when we need to. But we're in a culture now where we drive everywhere. We've come to this parking lot and we're looking for the closest spots. I only have 15 steps to walk and I buy what I want and I come back for, wow, 30 steps. My God, that was exhausting. Right? Do you notice that? It's like we're conditioned to, like, we are the car people. We are to the car is the master. We are the servant. What we cannot. It's about the car, you know.
Well, like the image that you said with the car, it's not only that you're driving a stick shift, but it's like you're driving a stick shift and there are people, like there are other cars that are trying to get you. So you're like constantly on the lookout, so you can't like just chill.
Right. Yes. Because you see, as long as I feel and experience myself as separate, this is at the core of it, then yes, there are going to be other people. How are they doing with me? Are they good to me? Are they bad to me? Do they love me? Are they trying to rob me, etc.? The me is the falsehood, is the illusion. The true me is the self, is I. Yes, our experience, besides the download, besides the me download, my history, my past, besides that, in this moment, it's effortless presence, right? But then we go to the history, okay, and that's work. We carry our past. I mean, it's labor intensive to carry your past and to figure out who you are, and you're this and from this culture, from that tribe, from this people. It's labor intensive. But presence, being, is no labor in that. You see? So when you are perceiving yourself as a separate self, you need to look at that. Say, wait a minute, what is the correction here? Is the correction to become a better separate self? A more lovable separate self? A separate self who is more in harmony with other separate selves? Is that the way? You see? Or to see how separate is the self. You come to realize that the self is not separate. The self is universal. And it's okay to be experiencing this particular mind, as long as we're not trying to make ourselves be that mind, that all what we are is this mind. No, the mind is like the thoughts and impressions that appear to you. You are not the mind. You are not those perceptions. You are not defined by your experience. You remain the chill that you are, which is the chill of awareness, of presence, because the screen you can project any images on it. It remains there. That's it. I am the screen, the ocean, the presence, the transparency of being. You are not the story of you. I understand the power of the story. I know that. The power of the feeling, being the bubble in that realm, inside that realm. But you're not inside that realm. That realm appears to you. It's time for you to see it. Because if it wasn't time for you to see it, you would not be having this conversation. We would not be having this conversation. But we are having this conversation because it's time for you to see it. You follow? It's time for you to just step. You're walking, and now you have to step. You step. Because that's how it is. You arrive to the step, so you step. It's coming to you. It's being presented to you. Because somehow you're open for it. So you're ready. You hear it. You're comprehending it. You're contemplating it. It soaks in. You get it. And you're understanding. Understand. Okay, there may be some resistance, there may be some residual, there may be going back to how do they love me, and do I love them, whatever, I don't know. I mean, okay, fine, no big deal. Okay, it's okay. Waves, okay, no problem. Currents, okay, no problem. We can experience thoughts, we can experience sensation, feelings, whatever. Okay, fine, no problem. But anytime we can return to presence, return to the true amness, the true beingness. Okay, Amna. Thank you for your questions, your company, your love, Holger, Amna, Malcolm, Gabi. Hello, Gabi, and Marga.
Thank you, Magdi.
Yes, Gabi, yes, and Esther, and Shiva. Thank you all. Hello, Esther. Yes, yes. Thank you all.